Okay, this is the last part of this chapter. Then once I finish this, we will move on to the last chapter in your syllabus, which is on electrochemistry. Okay, this is nothing but to work out the problems. So you know very well, equilibrium constant QC equals the molar concentration of C to the power of C, molar concentration of D to the power of D, the molarity of A to the power of U, which we have done this B. So what is QC? The reaction quotient. If you apply the law of mass action to a reversible reaction before it reaches the state of equilibrium, we cannot call that as Kc, instead we call that as Qc, correct? Right? Similarly, for the partial pressure Qp, which is equal to partial pressure of C to the power of C, partial pressure of D to the power of D over partial pressure of A to the power of A and partial pressure of B to the power of B. This is the reaction quotient similar to Kp. So if you apply the mass action at equilibrium, you are going to call this as Kc, and this is going to be your K. Qc and Kp, Kc and Kp. So here is a problem. Here is a problem. See, you have in your PowerPoint, this is the reaction. Two molecules of nitric oxide plus oxygen. Okay. This is a reversible reaction. Your PowerPoint slide is wrong. Okay. When you are applying the law of mass action, it cannot be one-sided reaction, correct? It should be a reversible reaction. So this is 2NO2. They have given the delta G0 of this reaction, which is negative 71.2 kilojoules per mole. And they have given, apply the law of mass action before reaching equilibrium, which I am going to call this as Qp. Qp equals partial pressure of NO2 to the power of 2, partial pressure of nitric oxide to the power of 2, and partial pressure of oxygen. So now they have in the problem they have given partial pressure of nitrogen dioxide is going to be 2 atm, that is 2 atmospheres whole square. So I just I'm not going to write the unit. This is going to be 2 square, and partial pressure of nitrogen dioxide is 2 again whole square, and the partial pressure of oxygen is 0.1. So if you simplify this, Qp equals 4 divided by 0.4, 2 square times 4 times 0.1 is 0.4, and you will end up with how much? Can you tell me how much is going to be? Oh, something wrong here. No, PNO is 0.1, not 2. So this is going to be, this is not 2. This is 0.1. Okay, if you simplify this, Qp is going to be, you can check it later, it is going to be 4 times 10 to the power of 3. That's the answer, Qp. So in the given problem, this is the equation you are going to write. The delta G of a reaction, which is equal to delta G0, the standard state, plus RT ln Q. That's the formula you are going to use. So they have given delta G0 how much? 71.2 kilojoules. So now you need to convert that kilojoules to joules, right? What will you do? So delta G equals, so negative 71.2 times 10 to the power of 3 joules. I converted that into joules. Plus the gas constant is 8.314. I am not writing the units. Temperature they have given 298 degree Kelvin. 298 degree Kelvin. And ln Q. ln Q is what? Natural log of Qp, which is 4 times 10 to the power of 3. Okay? And this is going to be negative 71.2 times 10 to the power of 3 plus, and if you simplify all that, it is going to give you 20.5 times 10 to the power of 3. This is also joules, that is also joules. And if you add these two, delta G is equal to negative 50.7 times 10 to the power of 3 joules. And if you convert it into kilojoules, minus 50.7 kilojoules per mole. So therefore, the Gibbs energy change of the reaction, which is equal to a negative number 50.7 kilojoules. Because it is a negative number, this is a spontaneous reaction. Okay? This is using Qp. Now, before reaching the state of equilibrium, this is the situation. When once the reaction reaches equilibrium, so Qp will be replaced by K, equilibrium constant, right? So what is the equation? At equilibrium, you must remember this, delta G equals 0. The Gibbs free energy change is always 0. Not delta G0. You got me? You should know the difference. Here, look. This is what I am writing. At equilibrium, this is always 0. But this is not 0. So when you put, you have this equation, delta G equals delta G0 plus RT ln K. Here this becomes what? 0, correct? Right? So now delta G equals what? Delta G0 equals negative RT ln K, where K is what? K is what? Equilibrium constant. Equilibrium constant. Now, R is the gas constant. T is the temperature they will give you. If I give you equilibrium constant of a reaction, can you calculate delta G? Or if I give you delta G0, you can calculate the equilibrium constant. Understand? There will be problems in your final exam also. And I am going to give you another exam when once I complete that electrochemistry. So covering 3 chapters, 1 exam in the class. You understand? So I have to know where all of you will stand. I cannot give you everything before. And the final exam, it is going to be between May 3rd and May 7th. So whichever day that comes in, you go and check Northwest website, calendar, and they have already announced it. Okay, now, at equilibrium, this is the list. At equilibrium, delta G equals 0. The next point, when equilibrium constant is less than 1. So the delta G0 becomes positive. When the equilibrium constant is greater than 1, the Gibbs free energy, standard Gibbs free energy change is negative. Okay? So now let us work out a problem. This is a big equation. Delta G0 equals negative RT ln K. Very important equation. So the problem is this. The reaction is nitrogen tetroxide. It dissociates into two molecules of nitrogen dioxide. Okay. So now they have given the Gibbs free energy of formation. Reactants or the products. Hey, have you received an email from Northwest for something like course evaluation? You please go ahead and do that. If you do that, then I will give you 10 place points, whatever it is. Okay? You have to show me for having completed that. Okay? You need not have to show me what you have written. But after submission, you will get something, right? You can print it, and if you show me, I will give you 10 points more. Okay? I keep forgetting this. And this is your Gibbs free energy of formation 0. Knowing the Gibbs free energy of formation, you can calculate the delta G0. Delta G0 can be determined like this. How? It's very simple. So the Gibbs free energy, standard Gibbs free energy equals, so change in 0F of the products minus Gibbs free energy change the formation of the reactants. They have given N2O4, they have given 99.8, that is in kilojoules. And for nitrogen dioxide, they have given 51.3. Using this, so what you do is product 2 times delta G0 equals the 2 times. What is the Gibbs free energy of formation of NO2? 51.3 minus the Gibbs free energy of formation of the reactants N2O4, which is 99.8. They are all in kilojoules per mole. So therefore delta G0 equals 102.6 kilojoules minus, somebody subtract this very quickly. How much? 102.6 minus 99.8, how much?
2.8.
Huh?
2.8.
So 2.8 kilojoules, correct? So now you got the delta G0. So now they want you to calculate the equilibrium constant of this reaction. So what is the equation for the equilibrium constant? Delta G0 equals negative RT ln K, correct? Right? So ln K equals what? Delta G0 over RT, agreed? Are you following this? So now delta G0 is how much they have given? Minus 2.8. I convert that into joules. Minus 2.8 10 to the power of 3 joules. Over R is what? 8.314 temperature, how much they have given? 298 degree Kelvin. Please go ahead and simplify this quickly. I want you guys to simplify that.
Negative 1.126. Negative 1.126.
1.126 means I will make it 13, okay? So you have natural log of equilibrium constant is this. What is the value? You want K. K equals what? Exponential to the power of what? How much is this? Equilibrium constant K equals what? You know how to do this, right? Huh? So you have to go hit the second button, inverse. Second, 10 to the power of minus. 10 to the power of negative 1.13. That's what it is. Did you figure out? How much is that?
0.32.
Point? Now it's right. You are not doing this correctly. Yeah, you are right. So 0.32. So the equilibrium constant value is very low in fact. 0.32. But however, it is a positive number, correct? It's a positive number. When the equilibrium constant value is positive, the reaction is spontaneous. Okay? So now you have to practice. Now knowing the value of delta G, you can calculate the K. And if the K is given, you should be able to calculate the delta G zero. So there are many problems in your textbook. Go ahead and practice. If you have any difficulty, you can always ask. Yes.
You said that it was positive. What was
Huh?
it? If it's positive, what type of reaction is it?
If the K is positive, spontaneous. Equilibrium constant must be positive. Gibbs periodic change must be negative. Enthalpy change must be negative. Entropy change must be positive. Right? And there is one more which we are going to deal in the last chapter, which is on electrochemistry. Okay? So the entire chapter is based on redox chemistry. Okay? Redox chemistry. What is redox? RED stands for reduction. And OX stands for what?
Oxidation.
Oxidation. So if you combine the word RED from reduction, OX from oxidation, you get redox. So what is oxidation? I think one of the oldest definitions is addition of oxygen is called oxidation. And you can also define this as a removal of hydrogen is also oxidation. And the latest definition of oxidation is removal of electron or electrons. If you remove the electron, that's what we call oxidation. And you also know in general chemistry one oxidation number. Oxidation number. For example, what is oxidation number? Say if you take sulfuric acid, they are all ionic compounds. If you add the charges of each element present in the formula, the total charge must come to 0, correct? That they should be, all compounds are neutral. Oxygen means always, if you say oxygen, it always carries -2. One oxygen means -2. There are 4 oxygen atoms, -2 times 4 is what? -8, correct? Then come back to the left side, that is hydrogen, correct? Where is hydrogen in the periodic table? It is in the first row, correct? Therefore, each hydrogen will carry 1 plus. Are you? How many hydrogens are there?
2.
So therefore, this is going to be what? Plus 2. Correct? Then we can determine the charge or the oxidation state of sulfur which we do not know. We put that as X. Anything that we don't know, can we put that as X? So if you add all these, positive 2, X minus 8, that always becomes what? 0. Therefore, X equals what? What?
6.
6, correct? That is oxidation number. Understand? Take for example magnesium metal atom. The charge of every atom is 0, right? Neutral. Correct? So how many protons and how many neutrons? Magnesium has 12 protons. 12 protons, and there must be 12 electrons, correct? They must be equal in number. If you add these two, that becomes 0, that is 0. Suppose you remove 2 electrons from here. You are removing 2 electrons, means you are removing 2 electrons somehow. So 12 electrons become what? 10. You remove 2, 10, correct? And if you add these 2, what is this? Positive 2, right?
Yes.
So therefore, what should be the charge here?
2 plus.
So here, the definition says what? Removal of what? Or we have you removed the electrons here? Have we removed the
Yes.
electron from magnesium?
Yes.
So removal of electron made magnesium's oxidation number to go up. From 0 it has become 2 plus. It has increased. Okay? Therefore, anything, if it undergoes oxidation, if its oxidation number goes up, then we call that as oxidation. Therefore, in general, in all oxidation reactions, the oxidation number increases. Okay, that's the statement I wanted to make. Now, oxidation number what? Increases. This is how we define oxidation, the term oxidation. Say addition of oxygen, carbon, charcoal, and if you add oxygen, it becomes carbon dioxide, right?
Yes.
So we have added oxygen here. Addition of oxygen is called what? Oxidation. Correct? So now, carbon is an atom, oxidation number is 0 here, correct? Here, if you add oxidation number of oxygen plus carbon, it should be 0, right? Each oxygen is -2. For 2 oxygen, it should be -4, correct? Carbon must be what to become 0?
Positive.
It should be what?
Positive.
+4. Therefore, carbon undergoes oxidation 0 to 4 plus, and they have removed 4 electrons. Agreed? Right? Therefore, the oxidation number of carbon increased from 0 to 4 plus. So, like this, you must be able to figure out. And the last one is in oxidation reaction, the electrons are always found as products. The electrons are always found as what?
Products.
So that's what, right? Carbon 0. So you are going to get carbon 4 plus 4 electrons, agreed?
Yes.
So do you see anything to the left side of this arrow mark reactants and on the right side product, correct? So in the oxidation reaction, the electrons will always on what?
Right.
Products.
They are on the product side. Okay, now similarly, we have to define what induction is. Number 1, addition of hydrogen. Addition of hydrogen is called reduction. Okay? Here what?
Oxygen.
Removal of oxygen. Number 3, removal of electrons. Here it is what?
Addition of electrons.
Opposite. Addition of electrons. Number 4, oxidation number
Decreases.
decreases. And lastly, what?
Electrons are found as reactants.
The electrons are on the reactant side. That means they are reactants. Okay? So this is how one could define the term reduction. Now always whenever there is oxidation, there will be reduction. Okay? There cannot be only oxidation. In a reaction, so let me take an example like this. Fe2 plus MnO4 minus Fe3 plus MnO4 plus. This I call as a redox reaction. This is what? One redox reaction. Every redox reactions will have every redox reaction will have two reactions. Every redox reaction will have how many half reactions?
Two.
Two half reactions. Say here, this is one half plus the unknown half, that becomes what? One, correct? So one will always have two one halves. So let us say here. So before you proceed further, what is the oxidation number of iron is 2 plus on the left side. Oxidation number of iron on the right side is 3 plus. Is it increased?
Yes.
If there is an increase in the oxidation number, do you call that as oxidation?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now this you are going to call this is oxidation. Okay? I am going from scratch. Otherwise you don't understand this. That's why. I don't know how online people understand these things. You have to look up. Right. Okay, now you have to figure out what is the oxidation number of manganese here, okay? NNO4, I have put minus, correct? That means -1. What do you mean by this? Manganese has its own oxidation number. Oxygen has its own oxidation, each oxygen -2. Correct? If you add these two, that sum should be equal to -1. Okay? I'm going to write something like that. Oxidation number of manganese we do not know. Can I put that as X?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And oxidation number of oxygen is going to be what? -8, right?
Yes.
There are 4 oxygen atoms. Each oxygen carries -2. -2 times 4 is -8. And if you add these two, that should be equal to what? This -1. So you have x minus 8 equals -1. X equals what?
7.
7 plus, correct? So in this reaction, manganese is in which oxidation state? Huh? Positive 7, correct?
Yes.
Then manganese on the right side, what is its oxidation state?
2.
2 plus. So you have Mn7 plus 5 electrons, that is 5 minus charge, correct? And you will Mn2 plus. You agree with this? Right? Mn7 positive. If you add 5 minus charges by 5 electrons, each electron means -1. So if you add 5 electrons, so you are going to get Mn2 plus, correct? Is there a reduction in the oxidation number of manganese?
Yes.
If the oxidation number is reduced, then what is it called?
Reduction.
Huh?
Reduction.
So now your reduction is this. Your reduction is this. Okay, one full redox reaction, look here. One full redox reaction will have oxidation as well as reduction, correct? This is what we call 1/2 oxidation, and that is 1/2 reduction. You understand?
Yes.
So can we write separately this? Fe2 plus arrow mark, Fe3 plus 1 electron, agreed? Are you following this? So the electron is on the right side, oxidation number has increased, therefore that is oxidation of reaction. What is reduction reaction? MnO4 minus, correct? I am going to write here. I am going to leave some space. Your Mn2 plus. Agreed? Now in this, I draw your attention here. In this reaction, On the left side, you have oxygen also. Mn is there, Mn is there. Oxygen is on the left side, but you do not have oxygen on the right side, correct? You have to balance this equation, right?
Yes.
How do you balance that? Depending on the number of oxygen atoms, which is 4, put that many number of water molecules. 4H2O. If there are 5 oxygens, 5H2O. If there are 7 oxygen atoms, 7H2O. Equal to the number of oxygen atoms on the left side, on the right side, put that number of water molecules. You agree? So now 4 oxygen, 4 times oxygen is balanced. Manganese balanced. 4 oxygen balanced. In the process of balancing, you introduce 8 hydrogens, right?
Yes.
But you don't see hydrogen on the left side. Do you? So then put that as 8H plus here. 8H plus. 8H plus. So now 1 manganese, 4 oxygen, 8 hydrogen is all completely balanced, agreed?
Yes.
And now you have to balance the charge. So in order to reduce from 7 to 2 plus, how many electrons we added? 5 electrons, correct?
Yes.
So now this is completely balanced. Where are these 5 electrons coming from? You cannot create something out of nothing, correct? So in a redox reaction, one should give the electrons, the other should accept the electrons. Anything that gives the electron, we say it has undergone oxidation. Anything that accepts the electron is what? The reduction. So now what I do is, this, you need 5 electrons, correct? Electrons are coming from iron. But if you write this, it gives only 1 electron. How many you need?
5.
Then multiply this equation with 5. Whole equation. If you multiply that whole equation, you are going to get what? 5Fe2 plus 5Fe3 plus 5 electrons. Agreed? Right? Now, what I am going to do is, watch me here, you can copy down later. I am going to add all the left hand side quantities and I am going to add all right hand side quantities. Can I add them? I am adding. When you add that, what is the final equation going to be? 5Fe2 plus, correct? And then you have what? MnO4 minus plus what? 8H plus what? 5 electrons. What? On the right side you have what? You have what? 5 Fe3 plus 5 electrons plus what? Mn2 plus
4 water.
plus 4 water, right?
Yes.
So do you see something in common on both sides? Do you see some component in common on the left side and the right side?
Yes.
What is that?
Electrons.
Huh?
5 electrons.
5 electrons, correct? You can cancel these two. Okay? So now the final equation is going to be 5Fe2 plus permanganate ion plus 8 proton. Can I write H plus means protons, right? You know that. Protons. 5 ferric Fe3 plus plus Mn2 plus 4H2O. This is what? Balanced equation. Right? So this is what we call balancing of a redox reaction, and H plus means acid, right? H plus means protons means acid. So if you carry out this entire reaction in the presence of, say, sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid, in the presence of acid, H plus stands for the acid, and this is going to be the balanced equation. Chemically balanced equation. What kind of equation? It is a redox reaction. It is balanced. The redox reaction is balanced under what conditions? Under acidic conditions, right? H plus means acidic conditions. Okay, now can we balance these reactions, redox reactions, under basic conditions? Basic means what? OH minus, right? Base means hydroxide ion. Acid means H plus, correct? So all the steps are same for basic, except one step. What is that one step? In other words, if I ask you, can you balance this reaction under basic conditions? If I say under basic conditions, in that equation, you do not want to see H plus. Understand? You don't want to see H plus. Instead, you want to see what? OH minus. Agreed? Correct? So then all the reaction steps remain the same. And now we want to get rid of this H plus, correct? Right? So you want to get rid of this H plus means you have to put OH minus, correct? So now if you write this 5Fe2 plus MnO4 minus, I am adding 8 OH here, hydroxide ion, additionally. 8 H plus was already there. I am adding what? 8 OH minus on the left side, and I am adding 8 OH minus on the right side, because in order to, not to disturb that, if you add something, you should add on both sides, correct? So now what I do is 5Fe3 plus Mn2 plus 4H2 plus what? 8 OH minus. I have added 8 OH minus on the left side, 8 OH minus on the right side. Okay, now tell me, this is going to be 5Fe2 plus MnO4 minus. See here, H plus and OH minus becomes what?
Water.
Water, right? So now, instead of writing 8 OH minus and 8 H plus, can I write 8 H2O?
Yes.
What? 5Fe3 plus Mn2 plus 4H2O plus what? 8 OH minus. Okay, do you see something in common?
H2.
8 OH minus.
H2O on both sides, right?
Yes.
So here you have 8 H2O, there you have 4 H2O. So you can subtract 4 from this, correct? So then the final equation is going to be 5Fe2 plus MnO4 minus. So if you cancel 4, you will left with what? 8 H2O, 4 H2O cancel, you will left with 4, right? Arrow mark. 5Fe3 plus Mn2 plus 8 OH minus. So now you will see OH minus in this equation. This is the balancing of a redox reaction under basic conditions. Okay? Balancing of a redox reaction under what conditions? Basic conditions. You need to practice as many as possible in your textbook. Okay? Now, we'll go for one more. How much time we have?
5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes? Okay, then I will stop. So you will have an exam next Monday, okay?